John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're doing a review demo of the Bonsai by JHS. Before I tell you about this pedal, I'll tell you about how we're recording it. This is my Han Telly that's pretty much stock but has a B-bender. I'm going directly into it. We are powering the Bonsai with a Voodoo Labs Pedal Power Plus. That's running directly into this Fender Supersonic amp. We're going to keep her right in the clean channel. And this is what it sounds like without the pedal engage. Nothing to sneeze at, that's okay. Then we're miking it with a Royer R21 that's about a foot off the speaker. And then we'll run that into an Apogee Quartet and into Pro Tools. So a little later on, I'll give you a PRS so you can hear some humbuckers. Might play P90s on my old Les Paul, maybe a Strat. Let's see. Now, let's talk about this pedal. The overdrive, I think most would agree, is the most difficult pedal to get right. And that's why they make so many of them. That's why most of us own so many of them. Because you want that distortion that sounds natural, but gets what you want. And arguably, the Tube Screamer overdrive in the 1970s is kind of where it all started. And to a certain extent, that's what people are still, that's kind of the gold standard that builders today are building off of. So what they did in a true analog fashion, this is not a digital facsimile. What they did is they found the best example of all of these different overdrive pedals from back in the day and emulated them. So they're building them as close to the original spec as could be done today. And rather than just emulating, you know, like finding an 808 and copying that, they went back and, like archaeologists digging through vintage tones, they found several models of old overdrives and found the very best examples and set that as the one to emulate. So the controls on this are like you'd find on any of these vintage pedals. You have volume and you have drive and you have tone. Then this rotary gives you all the different options that they're emulating. And it starts all the way back in 1977 with that yellow OD1 by Boss. Now, if you remember on that pedal, all you had was volume and drive. The tone didn't come into play. So let's just hear what this taste test is like. Again, here's my bass tone. The tone is inactive, just like the original one. Now, I don't have that pedal to A-B it to, but if memory serves me, yeah, it sounds pretty close. In fact, the one that I had, I just kind of ran just wide open. And it's got kind of a little mid-range hump to it. Now let's move on quickly to the next, which is the original 808 from 1979. Now we are going to actually have a tone knob that's going to be activated at that point. Love that sound. To me, that does sound like an old 808. And my setting that I always used on 808s is the 666 setting, which is not a satanic reference, just a mnemonic device, but it seems like everything kind of up right about there. Very kind of natural, almost like, remember Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was an 808 guy, and it's that tone. Let's move on quickly to the next one, which would be the taking it all the way back to 1982 with the TS9. Same setting. Now you can hear right there, nearly identical, but with a little bit of a bottom end warmth to it. Kind of a little bottom end push. Now, if you're like me, you'd probably have to get one of these pedals and dial it in to suit the rest of your gear and your playing, your personal taste. But what I love about this pedal is my own personal pedal board, I like to have 2 overdrives on there, because sure enough, when I'm in a different situation, 1 overdrive just never sounds quite right to me. It's the thing about amps, and that's probably why modeling is such a big deal today. Amps seem to change in every environment. So a pedal that I will love one night, the next night in a different environment sounds all wrong to me. But with this, you can dial it through, find your favorite one that suits that room, that situation you're in. Continuing our time travel, we're going to go to 1985 with the MSL. Now, that was actually their metal pedal, but it doesn't sound particularly metal to me. But then again, we're got to remember, 1985, those metal tones were very different than, I mean, that predates a lot of what you'd consider modern metal. So the sound became harder with the whole triple rectifier and all that stuff. But this is a cool tone. And again, what I like about it, although it's dirty, there is some clarity. Like you can really define the voicing. It's not just a big mud ball. And also, unlike a lot of kind of rectifier-inspired metal pedals today, it doesn't have that harsh high end, even with it boosted up a little bit. Now, let's go time travel again. We're going to go to 1986 with the TS10. Now, this was a pedal that was pretty much forgotten until John Mayer had one on his pedal board, and that's the power of celebrity. You know, a great player like that is going to influence a lot of people. So people saw it on their pedal, and suddenly it's like you're looking through pawn shops looking for a version of that. So they give you this option as well. So a little less bottom end in that. And again, what I kind of like about this pedal too, although I'm switching, I'm rolling the rotary through all these settings, my knobs remain the same. And it sounds, you could experiment and find what you want, but even if you leave it right there, you're going to find some cool different tones just swapping through them. Now, next we have the EAXR XR. It's OD1 from 1989. And this is a kind of rare Polish TS style that, again, a few kind of key players discovered and used on their boards, and they became coveted. Although they're not within the grasp of most of us because they're a rare, weird Polish pedal from years ago. Let's hear what that sounds like. Again, cool tone. Next one, we have the TS7 Plus mode from 1999, a little hotter. And again, as time changes, things get a little more aggressive. People wanted more dirt, and they were happy to accommodate. So a little heavier. Cool, right? Next is probably my favorite setting, which is it's the Keeley mod of, I guess, he was doing mods on 808s and things like that. Blues drivers. Keeley, who is known for his own pedals, but he really got his start by modding these pedals that were already out there, classic pedals. And I really dig this tone. It's a little heavier. Dig it, right? And then the final is the JHS mod, where they're doing their own spin on a classic deal. This is the loudest of them all. And to me, this pedal is not so much about the drive as it is kind of the personality. And why don't I quit yakking? You can just kind of hear it. To me, it's got a real clarity and everything just kind of rings in that sweet spot. Now, if that's a little bit too much high end, man, you might want to put it down there. Now let me give you a quick taste on humbuckers. Okay, now we're in humbucker land on the same setting with that tone down a bit. Woo, man. Sorry, I kind of went away for a minute there. Really love it with humbuckers. And again, like I was saying, this is the toughest one. So how great to have these options. Okay, JHS, just going to throw this out to you for a little free R&D. I think that most players that use this will, at the gig, they'll find two settings they like and switch between those. Now, granted, I don't think there's a dog in the bunch. They all kind of have their place. I dig all these, but I know personally I would find two that work best and I'd switch between them. So maybe the next time around, you can have like a favorite switch where you can just have one button that will switch you between the two that you like, some kind of preset. Now that may be an analog impossibility because you are in analog land, but maybe not. So you boys in R&D just work that out. Now, let me give you one last flavor. We're going to put on some P90s so you can see what kind of hell we can unleash like that. Okay, so now we're in P90 land, and here's our bass tone. Not without its charm, but I want to put on this Keeley mod, the second to last, which I really liked, and see what that does. Come on, man. That is just a cool rock and roll tone. Now, those are the basics on the JHS Bonsai. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com or buy the hard copy of the magazine, have it sent straight to your home. While you're online, though, check out our YouTube channel or the PG site. Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Facebook, we do a live thing on Mondays, 11 Central. There is unlimited guitar geekery awaiting you at PG. It's John Bollinger. Till next time.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.